Yeah.
Sean, Zach, a pleasure to be speaking with you both today, to say the least. I'll throw it to Sean first. Two-parter. How are you? And how does it feel to be answering the same questions over and over and over again today?
How am I? I'm generally very well. I live in LA, so it's not a great time to be living there, but and to
Right.
see what's going on. I'm personally okay, but I know a lot of people have been affected, so that's not great. Otherwise, I'm very well. I'm always happy to talk about the music um and just get it out, to as many people as possible. And so yeah, that's where I'm at.
We're going to come back to your New York roots and your Michigan roots and all that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But throwing it to Zach here, how did you and Sean first connect?
Yeah, it's I mean, we're childhood friends. We went to a summer camp together. Um, and then, you fast forward however many, 15, 10 years later, I'm playing shows with the Revivalists, and he attended one at a place called Arlene's Grocery in Manhattan. And
Oh, yeah.
just kind of reconnected. I don't even know if I saw you there, come to think of it. But you gave me a phone call a couple years after that and said you've been working on some music. Could I take a listen? And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know you did music, whatever. And it kind of blew me away. I was like, damn, like he can really sing his ass off. And the writing is super unique and idiosyncratic and interesting. And I want to keep listening to it. And so I just thought I'd love to be involved in any way I could, and I really encouraged him to pursue it because I think it's great.
Well, the follow-up to that, whenever you hear that artists met at summer camp, it's usually Interlochen or Usedan. Was it one of those two camps where you met?
No, no, it was a camp in Maine called Takaho.
Yeah, we were tennis rivals.
Wow. Okay. Sure. Now, Sean, bring it back to you right here. How long was this album in the works for? Because I'm very aware of your successful career in film and television. You yourself have had to produce many an interview yourself. So now you're on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a little shy when it comes to that. I prefer being behind the camera, but
Yeah.
uh the album, I mean, some of the songs I've been sort of writing and rewriting for years, honestly, and Zach has been a part of some of that.
Sure.
The title track, the one of the tracks on the album was actually initially called The Birth of Fantasy. It's one that Zach sort of pushed me to keep writing. Um, but the actual like process of putting the record together was probably like 6 to 8 months. Like we recorded for about a week, and then remotely we're going back and forth with Mac, our engineer, mix master, beats, drums. I mean, he's like a Swiss Army knife, Renaissance man. So we were going back and forth with him for like 6 to 8 months, and then got it done. Some of the songs were relatively new versus some of the other songs were sort of years in the making, where I just knew they weren't there yet, and then finally reached a point where I'm like, I think they're ready to go on a record.
Now, Zach, I'm assuming you're the anchor that made this a New Orleans project, hence bringing in Maggie for the great track she's on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like Sean had mentioned, Mac Major, who's really an unsung hero, I would say, in my world. Like, started working with him a couple years ago, and he's just so fantastic to work with, production wise, engineering wise. He's really fast and here's the ideas that what the artist wants and can execute them with little frustration or effort. He's wonderful to work with, and yeah, Sean came to New Orleans a couple times and did some sessions over at Mac's house, and I played some guitar, and kind of, that was that.
Sean, does that mean that you had to take time off between projects to be in New Orleans, or were you able to send in any of your work remotely on the record?
Yeah, no, I mean my schedule's pretty flexible, so it wasn't too difficult for me to be down there. I've come for all the stuff Zach and I've collaborated on. I've come down there, And I mean, it's a treat because I absolutely fucking love New Orleans. Am I allowed to curse on this?
I think you
Yeah.
can.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I love New
Podcast.
Orleans.
Fuck it.
I relish the opportunity to go down there and hang out with Zack and you know the recording process, like, and the collaboration with Zack and with the people he brings in, probably my favorite part of all of making a record. It's just an incredible feeling to watch something come to life in the way that it does.
So Teddy is somebody that Zach brought in?
No, Teddy's an old friend of mine. No, actually, so Teddy, I sort of worked with Teddy on the demos in Brooklyn before I moved to LA. And he kind of sort of like weighed in on shaping some of the songs, and then he's recorded some vocals in the demos. He's got a great voice, and so
Mhm.
after we had laid down the foundations for the tracks, I went to my friend Wayne's studio in Long Island City. It's called the
Mhm.
Ice Plant. He's super talented also. And Teddy came with me in the studio and we recorded his stuff there.
Got it. No, Zach, going back to something that I heard Sean say earlier about being tennis rivals and all that. At this point in time, would you be able to beat Sean in tennis, or have you let your game slide a little bit?
I would say I probably play like 4 or 5 times a year. I don't know. What do you say, Sean? How often do you play?
Uh, I play 0 times a year. I played a little bit of pickleball, but the thing is, Zach couldn't beat me then, so I'm not really sure if he could beat me now.
Well,
Well, it
Zach, have
was
you become a pickleball person instead?
What'd you say, Zach?
no. I'm a tennis loyalist. I said I'm not a pickleball person. I'm a tennis loyalist. I like the game of tennis. I don't need to water it down with a straight and changing rules for my joints. We're gonna play tennis. Let's get those steps in and let's play. Anyway, the thing that was funny about our tennis match is that we were like 11 years old and we're in the semifinals of this big tournament. I say big, but you know, it's just whatever. It's a camp tournament, and it's taking forever because we're both super defensive players, and we were labeled the derogatory term of pushers because we just been consistently. We're like, we're not going to make a mistake. We're not, you know, I'm not gonna dig my own grave here. And the match kept going and going, and it's getting dark, and everybody in the camp was going to this like in tribal whatever thing, and everyone was seeing us have this ongoing match, and they had to be like, we're gonna pause this match and finish it tomorrow because it's taking too long. Anyway, we're
In a good way, in a good way. And Sean, taking this in a different direction, doing some research on you and your background, I know that you have University of Michigan roots in you. And most people around my age would think of the Fab Five basketball team. I instead think of Tally Hall. Did you know the Tally Hall guys back in the Michigan days?
No, I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry to say that my
Oh,
ignorance precedes me. Yeah.
that was a band on Atlantic Records who didn't do the best on Atlantic, kind of broke up. Some of them found success in other stuff, and then TikTok made them viral stars. They got a gold record off of TikTok stuff when they were broken up.
There you
wow.
go. That's the music industry right there. Yeah, no, I was unaware of them until just now. So I'll just have to check them out.
Different direction here. Any live gigs planned for you, Sean?
Not at the moment. We've been talking about I'm involved in a music venue that actually just had a soft opening
Oh,
3 days ago on the Lower East Side. You know, Rockwood Music Hall. It's
yeah.
So it's the new room 2 of Rockwood Music Hall. It's called Baker Falls. It's a super cool spot. I know the owner well. He's a friend of mine.
Was
So
that Ken?
no, his name's Nick Boder.
Nick Boder. Okay.
I don't know if you know Cake Shop. That was his last venue, the one on the Lower East Side.
Yeah, I loved Cake Shop in the early
Cake Shop was
2000s.
sick. Yeah, Cake Shop was sick. So yeah, he's got this new venue that he just launched. So we've been talking about potentially doing something around the record there, which could be cool. And you know, Zach's from New York also, so we've got, you know, we can get a decent amount of people to show up and listen to the music if we do something in New York. So that's sort of what we're talking about now. Nothing set yet.
Zach, same kind of question at you here because Revivalist, huge band. I got the press release a day or two ago that David's doing his solo thing at the moment, some gigs on that. What's coming up for you, or is it all cka FLAX all the time for you?
Oh, it is. It's not okay for all the time for me, unfortunately. But we're working on new Revivalist material. We're going to get into the studio hopefully this year. I also finished up a solo record that I'll be putting out this year as well.
Wow. And then
I have
Good.
in terms of your solo record,
Mhm.
is it a Zack album, or is it one of those things where it has a band name and we're supposed to be confused that it's a band but really a solo record?
No, it's my name, Zack Feinberg.
Got it. And any chance Sean is on that record?
I'm sorry?
Any chance Sean is going to be on that solo record, or we just have to wait and see and get the press release when the time is right?
Sean is not on that record.
I tried to give him some ideas, but I think he has enough of me doing this stuff.
Sure. And last question that I'm going to ask at both of you, Sean, I'll ask it to you first. What was the last concert that you went to for fun?
I think all the concerts I go to are for fun, but that's a good question. I went to, do you know Zebulon? It's like a small venue. Yeah, it's an awesome venue. I love it in LA. I went to see Sam Amidian, Sam Gendel, and I forget his last name. It was three Sams playing together, and it was awesome. He was like playing the fiddle, and there was and Sam Gendel was using like this filter to put on his like brass instruments, and it was just a very creative performance.
Cool.
And anytime I see a show like that, I immediately go home and start writing music because it just like inspires me. It's like it becomes part of me. So yeah, I think that's the last one that I saw.
Three Sams. Do you remember when Ben Queller, Ben Folds, and Ben Lee had a band called the Bens for a little while?
Yeah,
That's
the
what that
Bens.
reminds you of.
I do remember. Just
Definitely.
Pretend. I loved that EP. That was cool. Yeah.
And Zach, in your case, do you remember what the last gig that you went to for fun was? Or like Sean, every gig is a fun gig for you?
I had a wild dad's night out on Friday. I went to like 3 different things. I saw first like 6 or 7. I saw a string quartet play at a little club in New Orleans called Chiquiwawa. It was like this LPO string quartet, which was really cool. Then I went over to another place and saw a EP release party for my friend Rob Kellner, who's a great keyboard player, and he has an artist named Wax Poet, and that was like his first show that he was like singing, and it was a really great crowd, and the music was fantastic, and it was great. And then after that, I went and saw my buddy Pete Moreno play at the Maple Leaf, and Pete is the guitar player for Trombone Shorty. And so he's a ripper. So that was really fun too. And he had this 20-year-old keyboard player, and who's dead. So that was wild to see this kid like amazing on keyboard. It was cool. Yeah. So good triple threat in New Orleans on Friday night.
So long story short, here's what I've learned today. Both of you, this is a record you're proud of. Far from the last project for either of you anytime soon. Live gigs in some form from both of you coming soon. Other projects from the day jobs coming soon. You both like live music soon. And we just have to keep following you on social media to know what's going on when we're allowed to know about it. Anything I missed there? Anything wrong?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds accurate to me.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for your time. Thank you both for the years of great art, and really looking forward to what's to come from both of you in the near future.
Thank you very much for having us on.
Paltrocast.